And you know, that may go against some of your nature, like, because there's probably a lot of humility in this room, right? You don't want to like pat yourself on the back and be like, hey, yo, I'm really dope at video, so use me because I'm better than your friend that lives down the street, right? Like, that may feel uncomfortable. You don't have to do it like that. You can just talk about, hey, I'm confident that I can make you a video that's going to get you an ROI. Let's talk about like what your budget is. Let's make sure you don't spend more than you need to spend, and let's get you something that really you're going to be able to use that's going to accomplish getting leads, right? Like, that's an example, right? You don't have to sound cocky to be confident in yourself, but you do have to come off confident when you talk about your business. So when you're talking about your charcuterie, like shark, charcuterie. I'll remember it now. So, but yeah, when you talk about your charcuterie, and someone is going to say, why would we choose you over X, Y, and Z? You don't have to be like, well, I mean, they're good too. You don't have to compliment them. I mean, you can be kind and compliment them if you want to, but it's important. It's important in marketing, any marketing. You do have to say like, yo, we're good. Like, we know what we're doing. If you are good, right? If you're confident in that, say it. It's not wrong. So it's not cocky. Yeah. All right. Table of contents here. We're going to talk about your website. We're going to talk about top of feed. Top equals top of mind. I coined that phrase. Somebody else did it earlier, then I didn't see it. Be omnipresent. SEO. We're going to talk about Google My Business. We're going to talk about relevant, professional, and consistent content. We're going to talk about some statistics, and then I'll plug myself at the end a little bit. Okay. That being said, just a reminder, I'm not going to expect anybody to pay VidArmy any money. I'll coach you on how to get to the point where you can pay money if you have something that you're running, and I'll help you get there and make sure that it's not something that you're like feeling like is a risk, right? So, all right. So your website. I just put here that your website should be if not the main source of leads for your business. So, if you don't have a website and you have a company, you're making a mistake already, because people are going to say, "Hey, let me see your website." Clients that are going to pay you want to see your website, even if there's no reason for them to see a website. They're going to want to see a website. Some people are going to want to. And if you're planning on getting many clients, which I think everybody would plan on doing, you're going to run into that. People are going to want to see a website. And if you don't have a website, then it's hard for Google to lead people to you, right? Because Google's main advantage is leading people through your Google My Business listing, which is when you type on Google Maps like food, all those that come up, those are Google My Business listings that those companies have set up, right? With their reviews that hopefully should be good and a lot, and with their posts that they've done, the photos that they've submitted, the information about when they're open. That's your Google My Business listing. Every business that has a brick and mortar should have one, and even if you don't have a brick and mortar, you should still have one, because you can get Google reviews, which is huge, because it helps your SEO. It helps you be found on accident. Google calls that discovered. So we'll get more into that on another page. But you do need a website. You don't have to spend $10K on it. You don't have to spend $30,000 on like a really, really nice website. You can build your own website, like all those funny commercials that you see when you're watching a YouTube video on all those websites. You can Squarespace, Wix. You can start there. You don't have to have a WordPress website built by a pro unless you're already revenue positive and you're making good money. Yeah, in that case, get a WordPress website done by somebody for $5K. Start there, and then when you're ready, spend $20K. Because you do need to constantly improve the website. There's going to be things as your business grows that it's going to be a constant investment. It's not going to be the bulk of your spend ever. So I wouldn't take that as me saying your website's the most important thing to invest in. It's not. You should build it for yourself for $10 to start, right? But build it yourself in an aesthetically pleasing way. So you don't want a bad website design. You don't want it to look like somebody in high school built it. You don't want it to look like messy. You want some bold letters, and the way that I wrote this is not a good example. I wrote this today, and so don't judge me off of this, because I'm not. This isn't what I'm talking about. But if you go to VidArmy.com, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you go to apple.com, you really see what I'm talking about. Accomplishing what Apple has when you scroll and it morphs into the next thing. That's really expensive. That's like a $20 million website, right? Probably a $3 million a month maintenance for their website. So
that's my goal next month. $30 million website.
So yeah, you just want it to look clean, and you want the messaging to accomplish a few things. You got to have your written content accomplish what you need for SEO, because Google is going to read that written content, and its algorithms are going to say, okay, this website is about video production, and they work in Salt Lake City because I can see that, how they wrote it there, and they specialize in live action shooting, and they also do animation. Like, all the written stuff that you have on your website tells Google, okay, when someone's searching for those things, this is a relevant website. So you do have to have, you have to really think, you have to use eloquent grammar, you have to have everything written out right, and the content that you put up, you can't use what I used today, since I built this today, which is stock images. This is a stock image at the bottom. You can't do that for your website. You have to have images that are relevant to you. If you have a stock image that you downloaded, either you paid for or you downloaded from Google by searching, real estate investor, that photo is going to hurt your discoverability. Google will know that's not yours. A. B. It'll dock you points on your discoverability. B. The second thing, most important thing, is it's not relevant. It's not you. It may be a house, maybe a real estate house, or it may be a charcuterie board, but it's not yours. And they may have seen that image somewhere else on Google. It just does not instill trust. You have to have original content. Am I saying that you have to pay thousands of dollars for a photo shoot? No. You can probably, how much do you pay? Can I ask how much you pay a photographer to shoot those photos?
Some is just your own time and resources, but sometimes it's, I've probably paid upwards like $500.
Okay, and do you get a lot of photos for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so per photo you're paying like a really reasonable amount, right?
Right, and I come into a photo shoot knowing exactly what I want.
Yeah, that's
so
another.
I'm not paying for content I don't.
So, I love it, man. So your website needs to have relevant photos. They need to have relevant videos. Your videos can't just be like these silly GIFs. You got to have it look clean. It's got to instill trust. So anyway, so you don't push people to your website till you have a website that's going to convert, because it's going to waste all your time and effort. People are going to go, and you're not going to get any leads, and you're not going to get actual clients, and you're wasting your time. So make sure that it's built so that when they get there, they're inclined to fill out a form or call you. Okay. Next thing is top of feed, top of mind. So I'm just going to read this here. You have to post on the major social media channels daily. That sounds a lot for somebody who's trying to run a business, because usually for a starting entrepreneur, sorry, did I make it disappear?
That wasn't you.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
Siri.
So usually for a starting entrepreneur, you're the only, if not one of the only people in the company. So you're doing all of the fulfillment, the sales, you're doing all of the logistics, the coordination, the communication with the client, and you're supposed to post daily, and create the content. It becomes so much that a lot of entrepreneurs just only do the bare essentials, which is collect the money and fulfill, right? I've done that 100% for sure, right? When I got VidArmy back, I had to refund $200,000 over the span of 8 months, and we had to make the money just to give it back, right? So, and we had to make the money with new people who weren't screwed over by VidArmy in the past. So we had to really hustle, and so I didn't post for months. So I've been there, so I get that it's hard when you're starting something new, or when you're starting something that's bad already. So, but when you're in a position, or you have a partner who has the time to do it, because generally the people sitting in this room, if you end up getting a business partner, odds are you're going to do more work in that business than anybody you partner with. The reason I say that is because you're here. You guys are the ones who care about your future and the success. So be so cautious when you partner. Okay, don't partner. I mean, I'm not gonna say don't partner because I'm not gonna say that. I'll take that back. Just be so cautious and make sure you fill out an agreement that lists out expectations and covers you for everything that could possibly happen. Even if they're your best friend or a family member, just cover as if you expect them to be the worst person in the world later, right? The reason I say that is because even if you know you don't need one because they're so close to you, I promise having it just protects that relationship. So it's another reason to get it. Anyway, post daily. Inconsistency will tell the platform's algorithms that your brand doesn't matter to you, so why should it matter to the followers? So post daily. You should be posting consistently. I didn't say daily here because it's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So to post daily on YouTube, you'd have to create a video every day, right? Now, we post a video every day. We're a video company, though. Yeah. Right? So that's like rare. Somebody who is posting a video a day that's not a video company, I mean, kudos to them because they're paying for content, like a lot of content. And that content's probably not subpar. They're probably planning every single one of those really well. Anyway, so consistently, I would say weekly on every one of those platforms. You can post the same thing that you post on Facebook on Instagram. The audience are going to be a little bit different. Instagram tends to be younger audience than Facebook, typically for engagement. Also, LinkedIn is business professionals, so you're going to change how you phrase things because you're talking only to business pros on LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, you have to get one tonight, or today, tomorrow.
Now. Right now.
What time is it? You got to get one.
He's a LinkedIn.
You have to get one.
He knows how to work.
So LinkedIn is 100% how I grew VidArmy. It is 100% how I grew VidArmy because, well, I mean, it wouldn't have worked without the combination of having everything else in place, right? If I didn't have somewhere for them to land and check me out, like a website that's built to convert, if I didn't have a social media feeds on every single platform that I just listed, just stacked with awesome content for them to view, to be like, yeah, I do want him to use, I do want to use him for video, then everything I did on LinkedIn wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have worked. So it has to be a combo. You can't just do LinkedIn, but you definitely need a LinkedIn. And what you should be doing on LinkedIn, this isn't written. I didn't write this, but this is more important than what I wrote. You need to be posting authentic, real feelings that you have, thoughts that you have. It doesn't have to be related to your business. Honestly, if you check out my LinkedIn, you know, I've had, like, last month I had like 400,000 views on my posts on LinkedIn, and I only have 16,000 connections, which is average. That's not a lot, that's average. But I've had so many views on my posts because I'm talking about, you know, my brother who passed away a few months ago that was living with me. And I talked about how, like, when someone says, how are you doing, you should answer honestly instead of being like, good, how are you, and passing it back to them. You know, maybe they're struggling and they're hoping you open up so they can, right? So I do posts like that. I talk about my wife and how when I watch her be patient with my kids when they're crazy, I'm just like in awe, and it helps me try to be that way as a leader in business. And I talk about how my faith in Jesus Christ matters more to me than the success of my company, so I don't take deals on Sundays. And those kind of posts of me just being honest and being who I am unapologetically, those posts people can relate with. Some people don't like them. That's okay. It's very few people that don't like them. And I'm not here to try to make people like me. I'm just posting who I am. And if you do that, if you get on your LinkedIn, you add connections of who your target market is. My target market is marketing directors, CEOs, founders, and co-founders in Utah, right? That's my target market. Anybody who's within those parameters of any company in Utah, that's who I want to talk to. And so I'm adding the maximum that you can per week, which is 100 on LinkedIn. I'm adding those people in Utah, second connections, so I know that I can send a request and they can accept it. And you can only add 100 a week. So I'm doing that, and then I am posting. I'm not posting daily, but I mean I should be. You post as often as you can, and you try to make real connections by commenting on people's posts, something that's actually real, not just like dope post. You have to see the post, read it, and if you can't relate and you don't have anything genuine to say, don't comment. But if you like it, and if you have something to say, like I always say, like when you have a kind thought about somebody and you don't say it, it's like I don't know. It's I don't know what I say. It's a good quote, right? I just can't.
So far, so good.
So far, so good, right? No, so just if you have a kind thought, say it out loud, right? So like, I mean, I definitely have a nice thing to say about every single person here, just from what I'm seeing, right? Like obviously, you guys being here, I could talk a lot about how awesome that is that you guys are spending time in yourself, right? You're investing in knowledge that you can maybe pick up something from me tonight, and that's you investing in yourself, believing in yourself, wanting to achieve more and progress. That you guys should pat yourself on the back for. That's awesome. But when you see something that you like about somebody, even if it's not your nature to be outward and speak up and say something, do it. Do it anyway. Like when Moses told me his name, I was like, that's dope. Because I think it's dope. I probably would name my next son Moses. Like, that's a cool name. So, anyway, when you think of something nice, you say it, and the same thing goes on LinkedIn. When you see something and you actually like it, don't just be like, I really like this. Say why. Talk about it. Try to connect with the people, and even if they're not your target market, connect with them and be kind. Build relationships with people. I think Mikey is a master at that. He is a master at building relationships. Like I feel like he and I are like bros from high school, and I just met him.
Yeah.
So yeah. So on LinkedIn, you gotta get a LinkedIn. You have to post regularly, even if it's not your like comfort zone. You can post photos. You can post a little snippet video. I have a video posted of me tickling my son. And he's laughing his head off, like gonna pee his pants. And I just talked about how you should sacrifice your business, like sacrifice things that will hurt your business so that you can protect your relationship with your kids. That's more important than making sure your business keeps thriving. Like if you don't have those priorities in place, your business will become all that matters, and then you will lose everything that really matters. Those are my kind of posts. That's all I talk about. And so post whatever matters to you, right? Whatever's important to you, and don't just plug yourself. Like I rarely say anything about VidArmy. Sometimes I subtly mention it, just like a little plug, you know, like, hey, when I started VidArmy, and I tag it. Like, sometimes I do that, but it's rare that I talk about video at all. It's rare that I talk about, I talk about, like, I build up my team on LinkedIn. I talk about things I learned from my 4-year-old, my 5-year-old, things I learned from my wife, that kind of stuff. Whatever it matters to you on a personal level, if you're vulnerable, you'll grow a following and you'll gain connections. And then when you are ready to message people on LinkedIn and outreach, those messages are effective. Right now, I'm sending like 100 messages a day to my target market. And because I've done everything I've done on LinkedIn, almost every single person responds to me saying either, hey, we have an in-house video team, but I love your stuff, or yeah, let's do video. Today we got 7 leads, which could equate for $80,000 this month if we closed all of them. Don't think we're gonna close them all. Maybe not this month. But that I don't tell you that number to say I'm cool, because I'm not making that money. That money's going to be shared with the whole business, because I do profit sharing with everybody on my team. But the point I'm bringing up is all of that comes from me building real relationships with people, caring about them, trying to be like Mikey, right? Trying to be outward of myself and connect with people and ask them questions about them and get to know them and see how I can help, and then they can help me. So anyway, that went all off on a tangent, but that was probably the most important thing I'll say tonight. Okay, LinkedIn is huge, and it's an opportunity you can't miss. You got to post, even if it's just written form and there's no photo. It's cool. It works. That's my most successful post.
So what's the relationship between your personal account and your business accounts?
On LinkedIn?
Yeah.
So my personal account is way more effective than my business account.
Mm-hmm.
We still post every day on my business account just for Google to see SEO and be like, hey, they're posting. They care. It's the only reason I'm posting there.
Gotcha.
Literally. Even though there's like 4,000 follows on my business LinkedIn page, it shows up to like 40 people. So I post it and I don't even check because nobody's commenting. because the people that are seeing it are probably ex-employees and ex-partners. so
Just post.
That is kind of sweet. That's kind of nice.
Anytime, this is for Google.
So yeah.
But along the same vein too, I mean, if you have like an IG, right, and you have a business and you have a personal account, is
Yeah.
your personal account going to be?
That's a great question. So on Instagram and Facebook, her business page on Facebook, we booked hundreds of weddings from her Facebook page early on. Then Facebook changed how they help business, and now it doesn't work. But now all the SEO stuff that I did for her business makes leads come in every day for weddings. And so so SEO work lasts. It takes forever to start working, and then it lasts forever too. But you have to keep doing it. If you just stop, you can't just coast on it forever. You can coast on it for like a month, you know, and then you got to do some more. But I'll get into some of the stuff you can do. I'm trying to go fast. What time do you guys want to bounce?
Midnight.
We can stay here till midnight.
You're the one that's Johnny.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh.
when do I?
Like I have class around tomorrow at like 9. It's like I'm just like.
So I'll try to get through this. So
I love
I'll give him a
watching.
ride home.
I know. Uber. Bye.
so all right. So I'll just move on to yeah. So I to answer your question, my personal Instagram probably drives more actual money to the business than VidArmy's Instagram. VidArmy's Instagram has 4,000 follows. My follows are like connected to me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who follows VidArmy is not as connected to a brand, right? It's harder to be connected to a brand than a person. So when I post stuff about VidArmy, I get DMs saying, "Hey, can you talk to me about a video?" When I post on VidArmy, nobody says anything,
Yeah.
right? So, but I still post. You still post because Google will know you're not posting. That's one thing. Also, if I only post it here and there, Instagram's gonna know I'm not posting for VidArmy, and so less and less of those follows will see what I post when I do post. You got to stay consistent so that visibility increases over time, but it takes time. You just got to be consistent.
Yeah.
So
to make that more personally relevant, like I'm planning to start a new YouTube channel next month.
Yeah,
Right?
share those on your personal stuff.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want to. It probably doesn't matter to make an IG account for my channel. Maybe just link it up to my personal account.
Yes. Yeah. People are gonna want to follow you.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell me about your business real quick.
So the plan is, I've told Mikey a lot about it. It's I'm going to do self-improvement stuff, not from the perspective of me being like a guru or a life coach, but it's a self-improvement journey. My plan is to partner with a blog,
Cool.
and to kind of video by video improve in a certain facet of or skill set. One of the very early ones is going to be video making, photography.
Cool.
That way, I can start with a really crappy video and I can move up from there.
Yeah.
Genius.
No, that's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Showing how to start with what you have. Right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that's called user-generated content, right? You're not hiring a professional company, but you're still creating content. User-generated content. I mean, Gary Vee did that for forever. Look at him today. I mean, he is like everywhere. And it's all professional now. It's all filmed by a crew, but before he just did it. He got where he is doing what you're doing. So kudos, man. That's awesome. You're Gary Vee. He is the next Gary Vee right there. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So I would definitely take advantage of all your personal accounts.
A question kind of on that same note of like personal brand and business. So I've heard people say that like personal brand is kind of leaning more towards like less quality, more uniqueness of photo, like hey, take it with your phone in the moment type stuff.
Yeah.
But is there still a lot of value in posting like consistent, like high quality images that are taken professionally on personal brand?
So the thing on a personal brand that you want to not do is come off staged. So professional photos sometimes can come off staged, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing a personal brand post, granted, if you're posting your family, you can stage your kids, or you can stage you and your wife, like, what up, like with your swag on, right? Like, yo, check out my swag. Like, you can stage that, and I would take that professionally. I wouldn't take that with your selfie. But if you run into somebody who's in your industry who's like way up, selfie it and just post that. Edit the photo so there's good contrast, so that when they scroll, the image pops more, and they want to stop. Like, it inclines them to stop more because you edited the photo a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So do a little bit of like, make it look good, even if you did do an iPhone photo. And today's iPhones take amazing photos. So yeah, definitely you can do user-generated content, and I would say everybody should start doing that. Like, if you're starting a brand, if you know that you're going to be an entrepreneur, all of you should be posting something about yourself and putting yourself out there for the people that you love and love you and that know you, for them to see and remember you consistently. Because when you're ready to post and start a business, you'll have a lot more behind you. You'll have a lot more people saying, hey, I got a buddy, I met him one time, he's cool, but that's all I know. He started this business, you gotta go check him out. Like, you're gonna get referrals just because you're on top of mind. So top of feed, top of mind. So a huge way to do that is to use stories. So stories are easy. You don't have to create a professional story, even though that's awesome, like having a cinematic story. But yeah, go ahead.
I know you're continuing with that.
No, you're good, yeah.
So I have a mobile game company, and it's
Cool.
kind of different from the other people that have, as far as theirs is all service based and getting clients, and I feel like a lot of businesses are that way. But so whenever I see or listen to things like this, although useful, I often have a hard time finding relevance because I'm not getting clients, but
Yeah.
so like
You're getting downloads.
yeah.
Right? For your,
so
is it an app?
what's that?
Is it, you have an app that's a game on the phone?
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a few, and they're all doing. I mean, I'm making money, but like I have a lot bigger goals. But it just takes
Sweet.
time. So
Yeah.
what would you recommend with?
With your situation?
Yeah,
For content, or do you just mean to grow?
both, and if it's kind of going away from the main point.
No,
then
no,
we
no,
can-
no, I'm happy
but
to-
I was just.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, dude. I'm just here to help. So I mean, I'm like I said, you probably know a lot. You definitely know a lot more about your industry than I do. Apps. What I would say is, don't shy away from letting everybody in your sphere know that what you're doing. Because you sound like you're not cocky. You sound like you're a very kind person. I bet you're not like patting yourself on the back to everybody you know, like, yo, I got some games, I got some apps, I'm making some money, right? So I would say be confident in the fact that you've done something that I've never met anybody who has created multiple games and is making money from it. You've accomplished something huge. Just the fact that you can say those two things, even if you're only making $10 a month, you're making money on a game that's an app that you created, or multiple games. That's awesome. So, I mean, round of applause for this dude right here.
And this isn't bragging at all, because I mean, you could obviously make way better money just being a programmer at a company. But so I'm able to like pay for half my bills right now.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm making money like not what you would typically think. Oh, good, you're making $5 a month. And I get so I'm making like okay money, but it's like
That's awesome.
yeah, for growth though. So I've tried online like paid ads, through Facebook ads. I've tried the whole create a Instagram page for my game,
Okay.
for my business, and I hardly got any downloads from it. I'm just like, I think paid ads is the way to go for my
Yeah.
industry. So I was just curious if like even making
Yeah.
the ads, the video ads that I've done are like screen videos of my game with some flair added to it. Now I have seen video ads of like people playing games or being
Yeah.
but I don't know if that would be relevant to. I
Absolutely.
don't know. You can continue. I was just
No, there's
curious.
there's a lot of gamers with huge subscriber accounts, right? Like they have millions of subscribers people watching them play games. If you can somehow get those dudes to make a video playing your game, that would probably give you the biggest ROI. You get somebody who can prove that they're helping businesses get downloads because of their videos. If you would ask for them to prove it, not just say, hey, I've got this many subscribers. You can get somebody, even if they only have 20,000 subscribers, find somebody that will do it and then keep growing. I would say definitely go for having them create the video for you, and then you just say, I'm going to give you a cut of the result from this campaign, or so you don't even have to pay them up front, right? There's a lot of creative ways you can sell them on working with you, and so you could even discuss, since you're a programmer, you could discuss programming something that would help their channel go way bigger. Because I bet you could come up with something that would help them automate something they're doing every day that's tedious. So get creative that way, and try to work with some influencers that that like feel maybe they would just be stoked to tell somebody, hey, I'm working with a guy that creates apps, and so they have like 100,000 subscribers. They haven't made any money yet, right? Maybe they're making like a few $100s a month from their YouTube channel. Somebody like that with 100,000 subscribers has big reach, but has big desire to work with anybody that wants to work with them, because they're still not they're playing small ball still. Once they hit 1 million subscribers, then they feel like they're big ball.
Right.
So I would start there. That would be that's just an idea.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And also paid ads definitely work, because for your kind of thing, because there's a company called APSI Wi-Fi. They're an app that helps your internet connection on your phone get times by like 300 when you need a connection. It's free. I'm plugging them right now. But so anyway, they hired us to create a ton of content for them, and he said that the only reason he's paying for videos was because he was going to boost those videos, because he knew that the paid ads is his main way for growth. And if he can get, if he pays, if he ends up paying $100,000 in a year for downloads, his company value, because of the amount of downloads, would be like multiple millions, just from getting evaluated. Oh, you have this many downloads, this many active users. Okay, your company's worth this much. Then you can just sell the company. There's a lot of creative ways that I would go there.
What was that called?
APSI.
Wi-Fi. I think it's called ATP Turbo on the App Store. So stories are up here. People see your stories before they see your posts, because nobody's going to scroll through their whole feed and see every single post of everybody they're following, right? So they see your stories up at the top. A lot of people watch all the stories. They just keep swiping through. They're going to see your story. If you have something engaging, they may click onto your profile, then see your posts, which instills trust. Like, okay, I like this feed, I like this page, I like what they're doing, and then they're more likely to click on that bio link, right? Which would be a download for you, which would be sign up with a deposit to have some coaching with you, or which would be whatever your business is, maybe hire you for charcuterie, right? So stories, even if it doesn't lead to a lead, even in a whole month of you doing consistent stories, keep doing them, because you're gonna stay top of their mind when they're ready to buy, when they're like, hey, I wanna download that game, like that game looks fun, I keep seeing it and I keep thinking I wanna download it. Eventually, if it's gonna be somebody that would download it, it's gonna take them some time. So you gotta stay top of their feed. So be putting stories out all the time. And if I were you, for everybody in your circle, I would do the same thing I'd tell everybody else. Show your face and talk about, hey, I'm a programmer. I've created these apps. They're games. They're really cool. If you like games, period, like just playing a fun game on your phone, you gotta try it. This is what this one does. This is what this one does. Do like a ton of stories talking about those regularly, and open up and talk about it. And that may only increase your downloads by a few hundred in a year, because you're talking to your circle. But those downloads tell Google, hey, this app is becoming more relevant. It'll put you in front of more people when they start searching games that are similar.
Well, and it also has like the whirlpool, or like the, I don't know, the effects, like, yeah, the ripple, not whirlpool. Yeah, if you're talking and staying on top of people's minds, if someone's talking about apps, they're like, I know a guy that's actually created that. They want to be the one that knows the guy. You know what I mean? And then they tell that person, and then, oh yeah, I knew a guy that knew a guy. It just keeps going. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
She's totally right. The next thing is, that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
That's the best answer I could give for you. So
Yeah. No, that's good.
be omnipresent is the thing I mentioned we would talk about. So there are more ways to be on top of mind other than just their social feeds. So if you have enough money to get swag, if you're showing up physically for somebody, I'd get some swag, 100%. Get a shirt, get a hoodie. I've got this. I like it to be subtle. I don't want it to be in your face unless it's my film crew, because then I want it to be in your face. I want everybody to see it, right? But yeah, if you're having a brick and mortar, someone's going to come into you, or if you're going out to them, or there's any physical interaction, you got to have some swag. You got to have a hat. If you wear a hat, hoodies, t-shirts. You don't have to buy. I mean, you just buy some joggers. You don't have to have official pants, right? But you do need to look like you take your business serious, right? So just keep that in mind. There's when you have money for it, you know, there's obviously the hosting events and inviting a ton of people to them to like plug your brand and then have them have a good time. There's doing a podcast, which is free. I think all of you should like look into that. And even if it's not about your business, again, you're building a personal brand. Building a personal brand will bring you more business in your first 5 years of business than building your brand's brand. So make sure people know you. I think like I'll bet everyone in this room that Mikey makes $1 million in the next 5 years, like in a year.
Make sure I aim it at him when he says
The reason I say that is because he's very kind. He doesn't come off cocky, but he is openly trying to connect with everybody. And so whatever he starts, I don't know if you have a business yet, Mikey. Do you?
We've had a couple, but yeah, we got some.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. You're getting experience. I mean, that's sweet. So my guess is he's gonna be quick to success in a business that he does, because he's already like he's figured out how to not be cocky but be confident. And I guarantee you, whatever his business is, he tells people about it. I guarantee you, he when he talks to a client, he doesn't like make them wonder if he's gonna do a good job. He's like, we are gonna crush it. Guarantee you that's how he is. Am I wrong?
I say we use VidArmy.
No, for real. So
They're like, really?
So
Oh.
I would say
You will make lots of money.
So building a personal brand, he has done a great job building a personal brand. That's why I say that. Just because I could tell, I already he's memorable. You don't have to be very really outward and very extrovert. You don't have to be very extrovert to be memorable. You just have to be open and vulnerable and talk to people. You have to open up. You got to actually talk. You don't have to open up about the hardest things you've ever gone through. You can just open up and ask them questions and get to know them, and then when you hear something authentic that you like, say it. You have to connect with people. Even if you don't see a way you're going to make money from them, don't only think that way, because if you're only doing that, everyone's going to read through you. You have to care about people. That is the 100% way that entrepreneurs will succeed. It gives them their best chances if you actually care about people and you can figure out what Mikey's figured out, which is to be confident and never come off cocky, even though he's super confident. So that combo, you don't have to be extrovert to do it, but if you can figure out how to plug yourself that way and be confident in saying like, you should use me for video, like even if it's one time a year and that's where you're at, or even if it's one time every 10 years, like even if it's in 5 years that you use me, you gotta use me. Let me tell you why. Like, it's not because everybody else sucks. They don't. Everybody else is awesome too. But these are the reasons why I'm better, and I'll tell you at the end. Anyway, so there's lots of other ways. Wrap your car if you've got the money. Still haven't done that. You know, I want to.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. We just got Tessa a car, and we're gonna wrap it. She's gonna
For
let me.
trade.
Yeah.
We're not gonna pay.
We figured out how to do it trade too. Yeah. So yeah, somebody wanted videos.
Barter,
Yeah.
Right?
the way of the future,
We can do that.
or Bitcoin, one of the two.
Yeah.
So search engine optimization, I'll just blaze through this. So content metadata with tags, keywords, and key phrases. All that means when you have a photo, there's metadata in that photo that when you save the image, you can choose to type stuff that nobody ever sees, but it's saved into the file of your video or your photo that says the creator was VidArmy. The purpose of this photo, here's the description of this photo. It's a photo of two guys making a video about a company with a product. Give me some key phrases. Product videography, product demonstration, VidArmy. You type all these things, and they're metadata, key phrases, and tags that if you know how to save an image on Photoshop, you'll see that has metadata that you can put in. When you save a video, you can save that kind of stuff too. Anyway, look into that. something to look into because
It's like
if
the
you're
whole
saving
picture's worth 1,000 words thing.
literally.
It's
Yeah.
inside it.
So you'll be found more often if you do that. Google My Business. Post one time every day. We've been posting every single day, and it has increased our discoverability. We've been found by 80 more leads in the last 30 days because we're posting daily on Google My Business.
As there was like a posting thing on Google.
What do you post
Yeah.
on Google My Business?
So you post photos, or you post just written content, or you can post a short video that's like under 75
Is it like literally a feed that no one visits?
It's a feed that no one visits unless they're looking. If they typed in VidArmy, they found
Yeah.
your profile, or they found you. They click on your Google My Business listing. They scroll down. They see recent posts.
Got it. That's so
It's
interesting.
like you're
Those-
looking at this on your phone.
Yeah.
You scroll down, basically, you're gonna be seeing a bunch of posts that VidArmy's done
That's
or
just
what you've done.
that's just
see.
funny. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah.
this means that you can look up other companies too.
So do those photos show up right there? Is that what we
yeah. So
see?
see how it says
Yeah.
see photos right here. If you click there, you'll see photos. Or if you scroll down on the actual listing, you would see. Actually, I can just pull up.
And that's both photos you've posted, but then if customers post photos and like reviews, don't those show up there too, or something like that?
Your phone's right.
Or they can show that they've been at your location.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So if I type in VidArmy, here's the listing right here. Okay, it shows like you can click see photos, but if you scroll down, you see like products. You can see reviews, and then from VidArmy, this is a summary about VidArmy that I wrote, and then here are recent posts.
So weird.
So
We're like supposed to be like the generation that knows all this, John. Who actually? We're like Johnny, teach us.
so
Wait, but
of
do you
the-
just repurpose your content from like Instagram and stuff like that?
yes,
Yeah.
anything I post on Instagram will be posted everywhere.
Is it automatically, or are you using a system? to do that?
We do it manually one at a time because we found that even though it's convenient, Google knows that you're using a software that does it all together and it docks.
So even with Instagram and Facebook being under one company, and they've got that little thing where it's like, oh, post this on Instagram and Facebook, the little slider. It's
That
better
might
to
work.
self-post.
That might work because Facebook owns both,
You're right.
but and Facebook probably won't dock you for that, so Google wouldn't. But I have found that I feel like I'm getting more engagement when I post it manually to Facebook.
That's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not a sure answer there, but I don't think it would dock you for doing that. So let's see, Google My Business. I would. So you want to post a post, and then all the photos that are not post worthy, just dump them all and upload them all, and write a description on every single one of them that has key phrases like business coaching, real estate investing. You know, but obviously you're not gonna just like stuff the keywords like comma. You're gonna write a story about what the photo's about, right?
Yeah.
And so
Okay, quick question on that. Like, that's so the metadata. I've never heard that. That's so cool. All these posts right here, all these photos on VidArmy, those ones you did that with.
So
right?
so
you
I
did it on Photoshop.
yeah I pay $10 a month to this thing called Geotagger. GMR, it's Geotagger, and you can upload 20 photos, and then you can write all the metadata there, and then you can save the location for my brick and mortar, which is in downtown Salt Lake, so that it puts the address, it ties the address of VidArmy and all the key phrases I want to that image, and every single one of those photos, I have 800% more photos uploaded to my Google My Business account than any video production company in Utah.
That's
and I'm
smart
doing that on
SEO.
all of them. So we're
Yeah.
getting calls every day because of it.
That's good.
Can you tell me the name of that one more time?
Geotagger.
It's so Geotagger. Let me just find it so that you don't have to like hope that you find it.
Thanks.
So I just type in geotag images, and it's this one right here. So GLIMGR, and I think it's like $10 a month. Yeah.
Is the meta just basically SEO, basically just because it's like
It's only for
it's all
SEO.
tagging really, and so like even on Instagram you can I don't know if you guys do know this, you go in the advanced settings of a post and you put in the same thing that he's talking about, and that's just a way for people to find your stuff. A hashtag is the same thing, it's just
Yep.
a search engine. So that's I guess what you're saying is that in order for your photo to come up, it's a search engine. It's it's communicating to the search engine what you're wanting people to find.
Said
right?
way more eloquently than me. That was awesome. I love that you tied it and compared it to key hashtags, which everybody understands. Atta girl.
Translation.
We need to hand her the
accepted.
That was awesome. Thank you. That's exactly how it works. So, so one of the biggest ways you're going to be found if you're trying to get clients, and again, sorry that most of this isn't.
No, it's still relevant.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
I tweak it in my mind.
So okay, so yeah,
Good
for
programmer.
him, he's getting
Yeah.
you're getting reviews on your app, right? There's
Yeah.
ways to incentivize positive reviews, which will increase your
Yeah,
discoverability,
that
right? But same thing with Google My Business. So you got to have a lot of reviews, and so you have to be like Mikey when it comes time to ask for reviews. You can't just be like, hey, if you have time, leave us a good review or leave us a review. You gotta nail it for them, make them super happy, and then when they're really happy, right then you say, hey, here's my phone. Do you mind logging into your email real quick and giving me a 5-star review? You tell them you want a 5-star review, and you say, and if there's any reason there's not a 5-star review, give me my phone back and let me make it right for you.
Yeah.
Right? And they're gonna be like, no, you killed it, or they're gonna say, well, I mean, could we do this? And then you make it right, and then you do it. But you get a 5-star review from every person you can. The only reason that mine's a 4.8 out of these 113 reviews is because when I was gone, they screwed everybody over. So
it was 5.
It was
before you
5.0.
left.
Yeah. Anyway, you got to have great reviews, because if they find your Google My Business and you're doing all this content marketing and you're doing the metadata and you're nailing everything I'm talking about and you're being found and discovered from people that never have heard of you, but they typed in video production, they found VidArmy, right? You did all that work, and then they see that you have bad reviews or no reviews or little reviews. Then you're not trustworthy. So, I mean,
Well, it's just like when you're going to a restaurant and
Yeah.
you're looking at.
you're like, well, this place has
Yeah.
500 reviews and it's a 5.0. Let's go there,
Yeah.
right?
I like the
So-
2-star places.
You want to take your
I
chances.
really dig those 1.5s. Those are good.
So just
So
a
authentic.
side note, if you want to do a restaurant one day and you have a 2-star overall rating, if you changed it to 5.0 by doing a crazy amount of work over 2 months, if you change it to 5.0, your business revenue, I would honestly bet anything that it would 10x in 2 months.
People take those so serious.
Yeah.
They do.
Because it's like you're connecting.
Yeah.
And so if you're seeing something that somebody else doesn't like, you're immediately like, well, I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah,
So you're connecting
exactly.
with that person. And
What's
that's
the
something.
refresh rate on the reviews? Doesn't it cancel out after a year or two?
Yeah, so I mean, the older reviews, way less, for sure.
You'll be eventually able to get rid of the bad reviews from.
And the more
your-
good reviews you get,
You
it
just
will,
bury them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main goal, is just to
That's what we're doing.
You bury them with
I don't know why that was so funny. He's like, you just bury
You just
them.
send Daniel over and you
Oh,
just
yeah.
bury him. No, so you bury them with good reviews, and you ask every person that you possibly can, even people who, let's say, for VidArmy, I know I have some reviews on here who have never paid VidArmy a dime that gave me a 5-star review because they really like how I run the company. One of them was from my CRO's wife. She loves that I treat him like a partner and I give him profit sharing even though he's not my partner. So she gave a review and she talked about how the integrity at VidArmy is awesome, right? So I love this company. So it doesn't have to be always somebody who's paid you money. If you want to get a bunch of 5-star reviews, ask all your family and friends, say, if you believe I'm going to run this business right, say something nice about my character, the person running the business. Do a review on the person running it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's still relevant for Google. That's not I wouldn't call that spam. I would call that that's authentic, people really giving a real opinion about your character because you're the one running the business. So you can do that to get started, right? So you have some good reviews.
Makes sense.
It's really important to have good reviews.
Big enough. You can automate this with that's what Podium does. They automate the service to get people to review. So if you ever get big enough, you have enough money, just keep that in mind. Podium's a good automation tool for that.
Totally. If you have enough clients that reaching out manually to every client is impossible, you got to have Podium. You got to have something like Podium. Totally. Until you get to that point, spend whatever time you can genuinely reaching out and asking straight up for that 5-star review.
Totally.
So that was a good point. Podium's.
if her charcuterie business becomes 1,000 people a month.
She's gonna be the
I
first.
mean, it is a lot to.
She'll be the
I have
first.
to hire someone for that now.
So, all right. So relevant content, and then it's professional content, and then it's consistent content. I'll just briefly touch on these. Relevant content means that you can't post stock images. We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be about you. There's a stat here that that may or may not be correct because 99% of stats are made up, right? So, but it's pretty spot on, is my opinion. So anyway, you don't want to have content that's not actually about your business. So if you have photos, I would I'd take photos, like pro photos of somebody playing a game, like just looking at their phone, and then get a close-up photo of the app getting almost clicked, and then the game actually up. Get some photos like that to put up somewhere, and then like even video of that kind of stuff. And like for everybody, there's a way to capture images that are relevant to you. It's got to be relevant. I can email this whole thing to everybody at the end. Yeah. So professional content. I found these in a matter of like 5 seconds. The one on the right is one of my clients, Rustica Hardware. They obviously look at their photos, right? They care about their brand's image. This company, I didn't put it who it was because I didn't want to like cause them any harm, but they're taking these photos with their phones, right? And granted, that's what they can do maybe right now. But the difference is I'm gonna follow and want to keep looking at this for like one day when I've got enough money to buy like $8,000 glass doors in my bathroom, right? So I'm gonna follow that because it's aesthetically pleasing to look at, right? I follow it even though I probably won't buy for them for forever, right? It's just fun to look at. This is not fun to look at. I mean, you see their reflection in the mirror right here. This dude's in there. This is a rock chip. Look at the glare from the iPhone sensor. I mean,
those are some nice showers, though.
So yeah, there's some good showers, even with the blue tape still on the glass here. So professional content. It doesn't always have to be taken by a pro. You can become a semi-pro with your phone.
You can also like on Fiverr. You can also hire editors too. So if you don't want to do it yourself, or
100%.
hire a photographer, and there's a lot of people that will collab with you too, and on Instagram and
100%.
Do that.
You're totally right.
I totally do trade for charcuterie, however you say it.
Charcuterie. So
Okay.
you don't want. I mean, if you can avoid, even though, if you, let's say you can only afford to do your own photos with your phone, okay? Don't have yourself in the reflection. Don't just take a random photo of a rock chip. Like, don't have the blue tape on the window. Don't have this glare. Like, back up. Do what you got to do. And this yellow from this light up here, like, no.
Johnny's worst.
Don't take photos that look good. Don't post photos that don't look good, unless it's like straight up BTS. Like,
you should do a video of you
like
critiquing other stuff.
No.
Like no.
Yeah, I get a little.
What is that?
I get in touch with my feminine side when I see this.
That actually killed on TikTok. Those kind of videos killed on TikTok.
His next viral video.
Yeah. Just critiquing glass Instagram.
This yellow light. Ugh.
I installed the right light.
Disgusting.
It is disgusting to me. Man, I made Tessa. She's on board now, but I made her get like daylight colored light bulbs everywhere in her house, so that there's no yellow weirdness.
Yeah. Well, we were vlogging for a little bit, and he's like, "We can't vlog in a house with the yellow lights. We can't do it."
Anyway,
that's what.
Anyway, so
got a dope
just
house,
when you take photos, do them as well done as you can do them. Don't have reflections of yourself. Try to look like this on the cheapest budget you can live on. Try to do this as well as you can. Like, just care a little bit more than these guys care, okay, about how it looks. That will go a long way. Consistent content. This is just the last 30 days of VidArmy's Instagram feed. Every one of these are a video except for like one. So obviously we're a video company, right? But if you click play on any of these, you'll see quality. We've made some videos that the client really wanted, and I was like, why did you want us to just film a talking head with one angle, and you mess up a million times, and you didn't want us to edit it, and you're paying for it, so we're just going to give you what you're begging for. I'm not posting that, right?
No.
Even though we created it, it's our work, it's not something that I would say I helped direct. they, a client, wanted to direct it, and I was just like, okay, you're my client, you're paying, and I've already given you my professional opinion, you didn't care. So I'm not posting your videos.
Give me your money and get out.
Kind of.
Call me if you need anything.
I'll take your money again.
Also, can you give us a 5-star review?
Before you leave.
Freaking love it.
You probably have yellow light in your house. You disgust me.
So
5-star
Switch out the
review.
yellow lights
5-star.
for a 5-star review.
So this whole page is about being consistent. We haven't missed a day with posting, and I have data that I got from my chief operating officer today that says that posting every single day for the last 30 days we've been consistent, and we've done outreach on LinkedIn, and between those combos we have increased our close ratio, so we've gotten actual real leads by like 90% more of the leads that come through become a paying client. So it's helped a ton establishing trust in who we are by doing as professional as I can possibly put out there, right? Consistently. You have to be consistent or we would not be getting all these leads consistently, right? So these leads come because I'm pushing it out there. Anyway, when they go to your Google My Business or social accounts, they check you out. They're going to be even more prepared to pay you money if they find you on Instagram and they see that you've cared in the recent 30 days about your brand. Okay?
People, just to add in too, like people will see when's the last time you posted too.
Totally.
Like, I don't know. For
I
me
do
at
that.
least, I know a lot of other people do this too, but so like if they see it's been like a month or even a couple weeks, I don't know. And especially if it's been like a year, like people don't think you're in business.
Yeah,
So.
100%. I don't think businesses are in business if it's been like 3 weeks. I'm
Yeah.
like, they probably are
Like,
closing
what's
doors.
going on?
But-
Yeah.
So post as often as you possibly can post. Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
What I've done, because I have multiple accounts for multiple businesses, I can't be on there posting every single day because I'm busy doing other things. So what I've used is these programs that you could use, like apps, where you do everything in your content and you schedule it. So I didn't know if that kind of posting would affect SEO.
That's better. That's better than you knowing that you're too busy and so you're just not consistent. Putting it out there on an automated schedule that just handles it for the month because you set it up one time at the beginning of the month is 100 times more effective than trying to be consistent and going 4 days without posting and then posting once and then going 2 days and then posting and then going a week. Way more effective to have constant content going out, even if it is through a third party. So do what you can do, but try to be consistent. Yeah. And eventually you'll have the ability to hire out somebody posting every single day for you. So I tried posting, that's why we didn't post, and then we finally hired somebody to just post every single day on every single platform, right? And you can get creative with posting. You don't need a pro to post your stuff. There's no such thing as a pro poster. Sorry, you just find somebody who understands how you want it posted, how you want it come across, and pay somebody who has the time to do it exactly how it should be done. And do your research before you just hire some willy-nilly person. But you don't have to pay somebody like thousands of dollars just to post your stuff. So here's some statistics to just glance at real quick. These are my actual numbers the last month. So 1,400 people found VidArmy's Google My Business. Of those, 911 of them discovered VidArmy for the first time. They didn't know who VidArmy was, and they found us. That's almost 1,000 people in the last 30 days finding out about VidArmy, and I did nothing to find them. It was all the work I had done prior, right? I didn't do anything the last 30 days that led to those guys. It's everything I've done in the past. Now I'm discoverable. So it's just, it leads to a lot of people visiting the website. It leads to, I mean, you see right here, I have 800% more views than similar businesses on my photos. I put more statistics here, and I just added this little guy here. But this one is just 85 more people in the last 30 days, like actually filled out a form. That's a lot of leads.
That's pretty nice.
So
How does that feel?
feels really good. Feels really good. Yeah, it's
It's amazing.
feels really good. But it's a long time coming. It's been entrepreneurship can be lonely, grueling, depressing. You gotta have the ability to talk about how you're really doing if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Like mental health will suffer if you can't open up to anybody, right? You've got, just a side note, you've got to be able to talk to someone. I've got her, so I'm good, right? I can just talk to her and I'm fine. But find your brother, find your dad, your mom, your best friend, I don't know, somebody that you go to church with, that you like feel comfortable to talk to, whoever. You got to find somebody that you're like, hey, you're gonna be my person that I talk to when I have mental struggle, because I'm gonna have it, because I'm choosing to be an entrepreneur. There's no such thing as not having mental struggle unless your parents are just feeding you all the money you need to make success, right? If you don't have constant money just coming at you with no strings attached, you're going to feel stretched. It's going to be stressful. Even if you're making a lot of money, your problems then become, how do I fulfill for all these people and don't tank the company? Because we're making a lot of money, but if I hire all the people to fulfill everything, I'll lose all that money. How am I going to stay in business? You grow too fast, you grow too slow, it's going to hurt, right? It's going to be hard. So just remember that. You got to have somebody to talk to. I'm not saying don't be an entrepreneur. I'm saying be an entrepreneur and expect it to be hard, because that's what life is. Life's hard. It's not meant to be easy. Nothing's going to be easy, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is the best way to help yourself personally progress. So you being a personal progress person, that you're going to be able to open up and talk about how you're really doing as you're doing what you're doing.
And I was about to ask too, I mean, you kind of alluded to being vulnerable with your clientele, your subscribers. To what extent would you, go for that, you know?
I mean, on LinkedIn, I am as open as I don't ever, like, when I open up about like my history at VidArmy, I make sure I don't ever come across like I'm bashing the people who screwed me over.
Like, you probably don't ever want to voice something as a complaint, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Day 53 of being an entrepreneur.
keep
My mom
everything
wants me to
positive.
move out. I said no. She hates me. I hate my mom.
Mom doesn't believe in me.
I'm really trying to be vulnerable here, guys. Please share my stuff.
Trying to be vulnerable.
I'm trying to be
Give
vulnerable.
me your money.
I started GoFundMe. I really don't want to move out.
Oh my God.
Someone please write my mom.
This reminds me of like.
Leave me a 5-star review.
So.
I knew we were recording him.
Oh, no.
I know. I was like, wait, I'm gonna start recording it.
I'll send you the video.
This just went on my TikTok.
So yeah, be vulnerable to the point where you feel comfortable. But I would say, like, you don't have to open up about, like, if you're opening up about like the hardships you've gone through, and it just comes off like your whole message just goes negative and negative and negative, and then at the very end you tie it up in a bow and say, "But I feel better now." That isn't going to be effective, right? You want to inspire people to see, like, hey, like for example, I'll just open up to all you guys right now, really open, and just tell you, my brother who just passed away was living at our home. He was struggling with drugs and alcohol addiction. His wife cheated on him, and he drank himself to death. And he was my best friend in the world. And like when I say his name, I cry every time. Like, I'm a crier, and I talk about how that's a strength to like be able to like let it out. Like, holding it in is easy. Like, you just like turn away and just don't think anything real, right? But being vulnerable, that's hard. That's a strength. And so, like, I would say be open and vulnerable to where you feel comfortable, like that it can help people understand that, like, me losing my brother, I'm okay because I believe and I know I'm going to see him again. That strengthens me to understand that, like, hardship, no matter what, like, I just had COVID, a kidney stone, an emergency root canal, all within like a month, right? Wow. And the reason I bring those up isn't to be like, that was negative, I went through hard things. It's to say, like, after going through it, it makes me so much more grateful for what I believe about Jesus Christ and what he suffered for me physically. Like, he felt 10 times more pain than this kidney stone that was this big that I thought was gonna kill me. I was on the ground breathing 800 times a minute, and my son, my little 5-year-old, is there praying for me to, like, not die. So you can talk about the trials you go through in a funny way. You can talk about them in a real way, but always in a way that, like, empowers each viewer to come away with something like, hey, the thing because I guarantee every single person sitting here is going through something really hard right now. You're all going through something really hard. And so being open about it and sharing what you're going through, you don't have to go into a ton of detail, but sharing what you're going through and then sharing how you find strength in it and how it's not defeating you and it won't defeat you. And here's why. Here's what you believe. Here's what you think about yourself. I always talk about, like I posted on my Instagram the other day, I look at myself like I am Hercules and my dad is Zeus because I believe I'm a son of a god that can do anything. And he loves me, and if I partner with him in business, and I'm Hercules, I can lift up anything. I can, like, even though I'm not going to have instant success, I can go the distance, right? Thinking about things like that was my best answer to how to talk about vulnerable things and how to build a personal brand by letting people know who you really are instead of just like all the fluff of like everything's going great. Like, hey, we're making a lot of money at my business. Use us. That's not marketing. Like, personal brand building is all about being you and letting people in, which is hard because a lot of you probably have been hurt by somebody. You know, so it's hard to trust the general public with you, right? But if you can do that, if you can open up and say like, look, this is a struggle I've gone through. I'm not going to tell you the details. Here's the general situation I've been through. And here is why I'm okay. Here's why I'm going to be okay. And I know I am. And if you're going through something, which I know you are, you're going to be okay too. Talking about that in a positive light, building them up, and building yourself up in a non-cocky way, right? The confidence. That's the personal brand building. It's just believing in yourself and letting people know like it's okay for me to believe in myself. And these are the things my mom taught me. Really proud of that. These are the things I learned from my dad. Like, or hey, like my personal situation, I grew up without a dad. And I always like saw my friends with their dads playing baseball, and I was jealous, right? And thinking back, like I could have become a victim and been like, oh, poor me. But it just made me so much more grateful for my mom. And now I have this thing about mothers that I have a newfound like understanding of like moms. And I found a really good thing from my hardship instead of trying to be a victim and oh, poor me, talking about like, oh, I went through this, remember I went through that. It's not about that. It's about just talking about what you've learned, what you gain, and what they can gain. So, anyway, VidArmy, we're a video production company. Obviously, I believe we have the best prices in the country, not just the state. The reason I believe that, and I'm talking best prices for a production company. If you find a freelancer, they're going to beat us. I mean, unless they're like they don't have 1 million followers, right? But freelancers are going to beat us because you're taking a risk with freelancers because they don't have processes like a business. They're not going to back up their files 5 times like we do. They're not going to have a turnaround time and communication like we do. They're not going to have, you know, a simple way for payment. They're not going to have expectations laid out like a business. So a video production company, I believe we have the best prices of all other production companies. And the reason is because I've figured out what we don't need to be doing, that it's just time consuming and wasteful. And we just focus on getting an ROI. We're not Sundance, we're Silicon Slopes. We're trying to get an ROI for the business. Extension of your team, so we can create photos and videos you need for your business every month. Come once, do like a shoot one time a month for less than you'd pay for your own employee. So if you're hiring your own employee that has his own gear, or you buy the gear for him, and he's going to be your full-time employee that shoots video every day for you, we can do it for less than you'd pay for that, and it's a lot less of a headache. So we've created more videos than any production company in the country. I've verified this. There is no video production company in the country, in the whole United States, that has made more total videos for clients than we have. The reason is because, not because we've done more shoots, arguably we may have, but it's because we do a lot of content every shoot. We don't just make one video, and then we're like, okay, you spent $100,000 on that video, hopefully it works, right? Like, you boost the crap out of that because you gotta get an ROI. That's not what we generally do. We generally create a lot of content for each shoot. So we plan out everything really well, like you do before your shoot. We know, we try to make sure we do what you do for your business for our clients. We make sure, hey, if you're gonna pay us, let's get you lots of stuff. Let's get a lot of photos. Let's get a lot of videos. Let's get stories. Let's get stuff that you can use for a month. you know. So we have that's why I think VidArmy is the best choice for video. And then some of our work, these are all, I won't turn the volume up on these, but just little marketing video like Sunny car detailing. This is a giveaway. They gave away this Jeep. This is FNX fitness wear. So we had some models come, and we just shot like a little highlight to like show their new clothes that they wanted to sell. So this is all just a sample of some of our work. I just threw these on really quick randomly, but we always have a lot of fun shooting this stuff, but that's what we do. And how do
I want to see.
I don't know how to get it. Okay, question.
Just wait.
That was funny.
Professional. That was good.
Oh, thanks. And just threw it together. It took me a few hours to throw this together so that I actually knew I was going to come with organized thoughts. I knew I could like spitball. I wanted to have some structure. So sorry if I talked way longer than what you're used to.
No, that was great.
But
That was awesome.
I think you're. I have a question.
oh yeah.
Out of curiosity, are those videos, do they normally post those to free platforms, Instagram, Facebook, all that, and go from there, or do they actually run it through paid advertising, or probably mix of both? But I don't know. I'm just
That's a
curious
great,
if you do more of one or the other.
that's a great question. So we right now in house don't have a team that can do the paid ads. We have partners that we recommend, but we do recommend to anyone who has the budget. We do recommend to do paid ads on the content. But we're picky on what content we tell them. Like we definitely have suggestions like, hey, don't boost that video. Like, yeah, it's an explainer video, get your point across. That lives on your front page of your website. Don't boost that.
Okay.
Boost something that's going to get their attention and make them want to learn more.
Right.
Like, you gotta be quick to get their attention, and explainer videos don't do that.
Yeah.
Explainer videos are a must. You gotta have them on your website, probably the home page, first thing they see. So they understand your brand, because they're already there, they're investing time in your website. But yeah, I always tell people, like, let's make a hype video, let's make an explainer video of your business so everybody gets what you do and why you're the best, and then let's do some testimonials if you already have some clients. Those are the first three I start with. Then I have other three and another four and another two that we push people toward. But yeah, definitely like a hype marketing video. I always recommend, if you have the budget, you should do some paid ads. And you shouldn't just do some paid ads just for the sake of doing paid ads. You should work with a company who's going to work with your budget and who's going to not spend all of your ad spend month one. Because if you do all your ad spend month one, they're not doing A/B testing, and so they're wasting all of your ad spend, not knowing if it's the best platform or the best wording or the best location that they're boosting. So yeah, talk to me if you're going to do some ad spend, and I'll make sure that you don't waste your money.
Okay, cool.
So
What can you say does make a viral video?
okay, so humor always helps. Emotions that like if you can make them cry from like something amazing, like WestJet Miracle, Christmas Miracle. Have you guys seen that video?
No.
Look up the WestJet Christmas Miracle. That was an ad, and it organically went like 50 million views or something, because they bought a bunch of people that took a flight with WestJet. They had a Santa Claus on a digital screen, said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And he was actually talking through the screen live to them, and he was dressed as Santa. They all told him jokingly, like, "Oh, I want a flat screen TV," or "I want flight back home to Chicago." Ha ha. They got on the flight. When they landed, they got everything they asked for.
Wow.
And everyone's crying, and it's just amazing. So they had to plan that for like a month. That was a lot of planning. That video probably costed them $500,000 to plan, just to plan, not even to shoot it. So that, but they nailed it, and they became a real competitor in the airspace industry. So that's a great example of not just using humor, but I would say, boosting the video can help go viral. Like Harmon Brothers, all their like poo-pourri commercials and like their funny stuff that they do, they would have a chance of going viral organically, but they don't ever take the chance. They make their client have like a minimum of like $250,000 ad spend, and they force that as a part of the contract when they do a video for them, because they don't want to make a great video and then have nobody see it because they haven't been doing good on their social, and so their SEO is just going to kill the chances of that video being found, right? They're going to make sure that it's found, and then because they're boosting it, naturally people are going to share it because it's funny. So boosting it can help too. Another thing is just like making something that if you have like a really disruptive idea, that can go viral just because it's disruptive. Like campaigns on Kickstarter, those go viral sometimes just because everyone's like, finally somebody invented this. So like if you have a really good idea, that could go viral. Like maybe one of the things that you program could go viral just because of how innovative and new it is. Like it's a new type of game that no one's ever had. Like they've wanted it, right? So like, but you got to be found. So sometimes it takes ad spend to get that boost. But yeah, those are my best answers. All of the videos that I've made that have gone viral have just been funny. So, and they've just been ridiculous, honestly. Like we drove out to Logan. We rented a semi truck so we could fit it all. We drove up to Logan on leaf day when they bagged all their leaves and they were waiting for the compost guy to come grab it all, and we took it all instead of the compost guy. And we put it in the semi truck, and we put unbagged every leaf from Logan City in my brother's backyard and jumped off a 3-story roof into the biggest pile of leaves in the world. That went viral. So like, and then the Venice Beach prank, and then like there's some other ones, but yeah. So funny stuff, random stuff, things that people have never seen, like the biggest pile of leaves in the world.
Emotional.
You know, emotional things and boosting things definitely will help if your business model is disruptive. Like if you went on Shark Tank and you're like, they're gonna freak at this idea, right? If you know that you have a business idea like that, then make a video about how awesome it is.
Don't tell anybody until. Otherwise.
That's my best answer for how to make a video go viral.
Be funny is the easiest one.
And have somebody.
No boosting.
Have somebody like Mikey. Have somebody like Mikey on the shoot when you're making your video, just so he can like make everybody lighthearted and laugh.
Mikey.
So and you'll have a better chance of everybody like, performing the way they should on a viral video.
So Mikey the comedian.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Instagram, I know it's more of like a photo gallery, but of course Reels are super popular and that brings a lot of growth.
Yeah.
Where's the happy medium when it comes to, okay, post a photo, post a reel?
Yeah.
And I know there's an option where you can take videos and reels and have it not show up on the feed, so the feed looks better when they see your profile.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that also?
So aesthetics of your feed is really important.
Yeah.
Like obviously you saw mine. My aesthetic isn't like perfectly planned out. I'm just like, I just have to post the best content we have, and so I try to choose the best thumbnail. And I'm not very methodical right now because I don't have the time to color grade the thumbnail to look a similar gradient and color scheme as all the others. I just am like, I gotta get the content to the person. So I'm just gonna find the best thumbnail I can and edit. I always edit the thumbnail. Thumbnail has to look good, so it's a custom thumbnail every time. But so aesthetics are important. Reels generally get more views than posts, like just a regular post. So I would do reels. And there's when you do an IGTV video, your thumbnail's like long, right? So you can't choose the traditional YouTube or square Instagram thumbnail. So I can send you, if you email me or text me, I can send you a Photoshop file that has the layout. Like you put you put it like at the bottom under here and the top under here, you're gonna put something else. But this is what's gonna show up on your actual like feed. This whole thing is gonna show up on your IGTV feed. So I can send you that so you can create your own custom thumbnails for Reels and IGTV. Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's any clients you've turned down for certain reasons.
100%.
And why or who or, you know.
We fired our biggest client early on in VidArmy. We were making a lot of money from them, and they knew it. They knew they were paying us a lot of money, and they just like, I felt like I was part of a cult. Like they were treating us badly like early on. I'm like, why are you talking down to me? Like we're your film crew. Like we're not even your employees. Like you're talking mean to me. I'm like, okay, I'm taken off guard here, and so I'm just gonna like be nice for a sec because I'm not prepared for you acting like this, right? So that happened, and then during we were told very specifically there's this huge event. I can't tell you who it was. especially because you're recording.
There's a huge
But
you know.
but it's a very, very known. They're known. They're very known, especially in Utah. And they had a huge event, and they were like, they said, make sure you get up close and you capture the real raw moments that are about to happen in this event. I'm like, cool. So I do that. And when there's a real raw moment, I get up close. I'm not like up in their face. I'm like from me to you. I'm filming it, like they said. And the guy comes over. The guy comes over and he just like whisper freaks out. He like whisper yells at me, "What are you? What are you doing?" And I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "You just barely told me to do this just now." He like grabs my arm and starts to like pull me like really hard. And so I just jerk my arm back, and then he goes to grab my wrist, and I'm a wrestler, so I just like do the roll wrist grab.
Oh, you can't get me with
And
that.
I have his wrist, and then I push his hand away, and I'm like, "Don't touch me again." And all of his people that are there, they're like in a really vulnerable state of mind, these people, and that's why they're there. And that's all I can say about that. And so they're all like traumatized, like, "Oh, is there abuse going on?" And I was like, I'm just trying to get him off me. And so I just walk away. I'm like, I just tell my crew, I was like, we're just gonna leave right now. And so I just texted him. I said, hey, we're done working together. Like the way you just acted, you were physical to me, and you were like grabbing me and yanking me, and you were whisper yelling at me for following your instructions. Can't work with
I saw you try and do the wrist move. Ain't gonna work.
Yeah. I was a 3-time state champ. You can't take me down.
You should see my wife.
Oh, no.
I have credibility.
That was all I did. You told us to go past that.
Also, could we get a 5-star review?
This guy, you need your own YouTube channel. You just talk to me. You gotta have a podcast and a daily vlog. So yeah, we fired that client. We fired a lot of clients, and the main reason I fire any clients after that is when they treat my team bad, and because I know my team, my filmer, my DP, his name is Marcus Schroeder, is the kindest person on earth, the nicest, most patient person you'll ever meet. And so if anyone complains about him, I'm like, you're not my client anymore. I don't even want to hear the story from Marcus, because I know him so well that if you're complaining about him and you don't like him and you're talking bad about him, I mean, I still talk to Marcus. I don't just fire clients willy-nilly. but I trust Marcus so much that he comes before the client always, because clients aren't. You're always going to have a bad client always. So I would say be picky on who you work with when you can. Totally.
Good.